not the state, but also to feed the country as well. And there's so much potential for agriculture to thrive here in Ogun State. Take, for instance, we have a lot of industries here in the state. Nestle, for instance, it uses cassava. It uses a byproduct of cassava to make some of the products it uses in some of its own products as well. So if, for instance, like Chief Audio actually stated, if, for instance, we do not have equipment, machines that can take care of farming all year round, then there's a problem. The rains don't come as often. And when they stop, what do? You need water. And so he says, invest in earth dams. You need earth dams. You need enough water. You need irrigation, proper ones, to ensure that all year round you're consistently farming one product or the other. And so every company can benefit from it. You can use it for your poultry. You can use it to feed human beings. You can use it as part of, products that you give to companies to use for their own end products as well.
We also spoke with the Commissioner for Agriculture in the state earlier on in the day, and part of those questions was what we put to her. And she also made us understand that, yes, the federal government also has this policy, the Agricultural Transformation Agenda, but she said, she took the minister point blank, well, yes, you may have a good policy, but we, talking about the commissioners of agriculture in different states, are the ones who will also be implementing some of these policies, because the government doesn't have any specific land. It always will be implemented through the states. So she then says, her point exactly was that they needed to have this point where they collaborate with the center to see how those policies can be implemented. And then talking about access to credit, developing small-scale farmers to mechanized farming, subsistence farming has to cease from being, because subsistence farmers, small-scale farmers will not necessarily fit the country adequately. And then she also says, look, Ogun State, yes, they encourage or want to attract new investors, but they're not glossing over the local ones, the existing ones. They also will factor them in and ensure that they develop alongside the ones that they're investing also.
Another thing that actually came up was the fact that you are trying to attract investment into the state. How bankable are the projects that you have in the state? Like the moderator said, Dr. Doyin Salami, who is a senior fellow, by the way, of the Lagos Business School, actually pointed out that inflation in Ogun State is about 14%. That's against what we have on a national level. And this definitely affects competitiveness. And so, looking at it now, with an inflation rate of that magnitude, how can you begin to ensure that you have bankable and fundable projects in the state? You have to look at the terms of borrowing, long-term borrowing, and in single digit. But with an inflation rate of that level, you really can't achieve that, which is what even Mr. Segun Agbaje, the managing director of GT Bank, actually said. We have a lot of risk in the country in terms of giving finance to those kind of sectors. Agriculture is a very risky sector. And so if, for instance, a farmer comes to take a loan, the risk isn't on the farmer, the risk is on the bank. And so as much as possible, whatever it is that is going to be, whatever fund is going to be given to that sector, it has to be realistic. Because at the end of the day, you can't totally absorb all the risk that might eventually come out from such a venture.
Part of all of this, when one sits back and then you ask yourself, in spite of all of this, why do they have this kind of summit? Because they know that these challenges exist. But you know what? They also took us down memory lane. The first summit that was held, the Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Bimba Ashuru, he also told us that, look, as at the last count, they've got 46 industries. The 46th one, it was 45 before now. That's what we have on paper. But he says it's now 46 because he just commissioned the recent one. And so that is just to show that, in spite of all, yes, they're doing something about the challenges they've got. But if you have 46 of those industries that are coming, as at the last time they had the first investment forum to this one, and then he talked about 200 million also invested here. So it means that, yes, they see these challenges, but they see them as being surmountable. Yes. So you can then imagine, if some of these factors are taken care of, you have a lot more investment coming in.
Exactly. And let me still talk about what Mr. Segun Agbaje actually talked about. He said that we need to develop more specialized banks. Yes, we used to have that, but now it seems like commercial banks have really taken over. So we need to develop more specialized banks and then change the funding structure, especially for key sectors like agriculture and housing, as I mentioned.
Yeah, but that may also have questions for the new CBN government.
True.
Are they going to do something about universal banking? Will they jettison it? Will they ensure that all of this coming? I mean, the last time we talked about this double-digit interest rate in banking. What about the microfinance banks? Some people will think that the MFBs will lend at a single digit, but the MFBs are lending at double digit. So where does the small-scale farmer run to?
Who does he run to, or who does she run to? That's a very key question, Chamberlain, because you see, we have a lot of small-scale enterprises in Nigeria, over 17 million and counting. And of course, we all know that small-scale enterprises definitely drive every economy. And so, yes, all these questions that we're talking about here, all the sessions that we're talking about are going to be going on for the next couple of hours between today and tomorrow. We'll basically focus on key issues such as that. A session that is going to start very soon, the second plenary session, is going to be on strengthening the agro-based industry and attracting world-class players. It'll be very interesting to know what the panelists are going to have to say about this topic and what, of course, participants, audience, and the government, indeed, will also have to say about this.
All right, so there you have it. We'll bring you more of those plenary today and tomorrow. The seminar or the forum will also continue, not just today, but tomorrow as well. So back to you.
We are attracted back to. Do we know the music? Could we know the music? Thank you. Thank you very much. We have some order, please. Hello? Hello? Thank you very much. So, the law of attraction works on three basic steps, really. Ask, believe, and receive. However, how do you break down those three steps into positive results? That is the Prozac. I still hear the music. Hello? Engineer? Where's it playing from? Thank you very much. Okay, I was just about to say that Dr. Alfred Dixon is head of the Partnership Coordination Office in the Partnerships and Capacity Development Directorate of IITA at headquarters in Ibadan, Nigeria. Now, you might find something different in the program before you. We, I think, have been tagged differently, and with all due apology, a slight delay before it got to the print, but nevertheless, he was once Pioneer Director General of the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute, SLARI, in Freetown, Sierra Leone. But Dr. Dixon has already been with the IITA Ibadan for more than 20 years, and we're so glad to have him back with us. He's one of Africa's most outstanding scientists. I don't say this in play. He pioneered the genetic improvement of cassava in Africa, transforming it from a poor man's crop to an engine of economic growth and food security, increasing production in sub-Saharan Africa, and he personally contributed much to Nigeria becoming today the top global producer of cassava. No wonder they call him Dr. Cassava. Dr. Dixon is the perfect person to break the attraction model down for us. He will do that in his next paper, Strengthening the Agro-Based Industry Sector and Attracting World-Class Players. But to discuss this session, let me just quickly introduce our panelists too. And like I like to say, in no particular order, but let me just start from Mr. Emmanuel Ijiwere, who's closest to me, Chairman, Community of Agricultural Stakeholders of Nigeria, CASON, CEO, Best Foods Limited. Mr. Ijiwere currently chairs the Agricultural Food Security Commission of NESG, the Economic Summit Group. Welcome, sir. We have with us also, yes, Reverend Father Godfrey Zambujo. He's the CEO, Songhai Farms, Republic of Benin. Father Zamijo, is founder director of that center in Porto Novo. He was awarded the Hunger Project's Africa